Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, February 23rd, 2024. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Friday, everyone. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. The previous session with a huge squeeze, a huge continuation throughout much of the RT8 session. Two-thirds of the day's range was in by the time the RT8 session came in, but this thing powered through the previous session or previous week's high and continued to show quite a bit of strength here beyond that level, holding on to those gains. This now on the Wednesday strong low, which happened in the afternoon, just one quick hour led to this whole day's range, and then this huge move here. It's already a 2-day continuation off the pivot low. This could lead to a 5-day, 7-day, 9-day continuation higher. We've seen each of those kind of rotations play out over the last several times we've pulled back here. That's a 9-day rotation. This is a 9-day rotation here. And again, we could see a very similar continuation toward 5,200 or perhaps even beyond over the next week plus. Today, after having such a high range day in the previous session, we could see mostly digestion, a digestive day, consolidating at the highs as this thing kind of builds out ahead of what could be a continuation ahead over the next several days. Again, once you get the big day one move, sometimes you get a little bit of compression here afterwards, and that compression can lead to further strength ahead. So today could be mostly range bound with an upward bias as this market continues to show strength here to new highs toward 5,200. If we take a look here at the NQ, similar price action out of the NQ, big high range day in the previous session, a big 2-day move off the lows. Again, much of this move right here was done in the last hour of that day's session, as it was on the lows of the day in the last hour, and then rallied tremendously here on Nvidia earnings, ahead of those earnings, and then post earnings we see this thing rally right back to highs. And again, this market could be set for a continuation up that takes us well into the mid 18K levels, likely into 18.6, maybe even beyond there. So we're looking at a full-on continuation over the next 5 to 7 days out of this range. For today's market, we could have mostly range-bound action. That's the case right now. The NQ trading just 20% of average range. The ES is at 22% of average range here heading into the RTH Open. Very small ranges. Again, those ranges could persist throughout much of the day. We could see further development of the range and a build out of the range, but compression nonetheless with an upward bias, with a full-on continuation into next week. We take a look here at crude oil. This one's down 1.76% here, another day down within the range. The previous session was down, nearly got the 77s we were looking for, got to about 77.20s, and then rallied right back up, then back down, and staying in the range overall. So this is now a 10-day compression, 10-day narrow range that is developed. If we build this out here to a 10-day reading here, you'll notice again that this thing is set to break out in a big way. That right there, $8 would be the 125% projection. The average range move is about 6.5 points, and right now this is our reading. We have 3.4 points as the reading right now for a whole 10-day range, which again could break in either direction. But if we can get through 79s, it really starts to open up the upside of this range. So again, watching the development of this range from an intraday perspective, down a day right now. We are testing the previous session's low, so there could be a bounce back up within the range, but anticipating a continued build out of this range heading into next week. Overall, this compression right here again could lead to a huge 8-point breakout in the week to 2 weeks ahead. Taking a look at gold futures. Right now, gold futures showing a little bit of strength at the moment. Failed new low developing here below 2-day lows. That could open up prices back toward recent highs at around 2045. Can this market get through the previous session's midpoint? If so, you're looking at a continuation back up toward the 43 to 45 zone. Now, can this market get away from 2040? 2040 that's been stuck at that middle portion of the range. Once it gets away from 2040, we have a shot to get back up toward 2080, the top end of the range. Right now stuck at the center of this 80-point range, but a strong failed new low could lead to prices much higher, especially if it gets through the previous session's midpoint of 2037. Lastly, looking at the YM with a big session the previous day as well. New highs for this one. A big breakout move out of the narrow range. We talked about this 1 month trading range here. This 1 month trading range was all of, 1,000 points over the course of a month. It's very similar to the 1,000 point trading range that we had before, and now we're seeing the initial breakout move through the top. That could open up the next continuation here toward 40,000 up ahead. Today, again, could be mostly digestive. Compression day following the previous session's high range session. Today, only 106 points of range. 106 points when it's been averaging about 370. That right there, again, very compressed overall. You can see the reading right here at 28% of ADR. Now, despite today's compression, that could lead to a buildup of energy for a continuation higher up ahead, and we're looking at a continuation toward 40,000 over the next week as this thing continues to march up to new highs. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this thing plays out here heading into the weekend. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.